this video, you'll learn how to switch between parametric modeling and direct modeling modes by turning Capture Design History on and off in Fusion 360. When you create a new design in Fusion 360, Capture Design History is on by default, which is the parametric modeling mode. You'll see the timeline at the bottom of the canvas, which lists the history of operations performed in your design. When you open a design that was created in another CAD system, or you turn off Capture Design History, you enter Direct Modeling mode. The timeline disappears, and you can edit the design directly without capturing the history of operations. There are many reasons why you may want to use the Direct Modeling mode in Fusion 360. You may want to repair imported geometry, defeature a design, or quickly iterate on a concept without thinking about the history before you switch to parametric modeling mode. Or you might not need the history-based tools at all for a particular design. Let's explore what happens to a design when you work in parametric modeling mode, as well as what happens when you turn off Capture Design History and enter Direct Modeling mode. This bracket was designed in parametric modeling mode. Note the timeline displays along the bottom of the canvas. You can see two components, the top-level component, History, and the subcomponent, Fixture. If you click the radio button to activate a component, you'll notice that the timeline now displays only this component's features. Each operation performed to create the component appears in historical order. When you hover over a feature, like a sketch, fillet, or chamfer, you can see its name and type, and the feature itself is highlighted in the canvas. When you click a feature, the highlight becomes more prominent. If you right-click a feature like this chamfer and select Edit Feature, the timeline rolls back to the point in time when this feature was created. You can use the manipulator handle to adjust the size of the chamfer, enter a value manually, or adjust additional settings in the Edit Feature dialog. Note that both corners adjust to the change in chamfer size because the chamfer feature was originally applied to both corner edges. If you want to add or remove edges, press and hold the Control or Command key and note that the command preview disappears. You can modify the selection set, then release the Control or Command key. Once you complete the command, note that the timeline rolls back to the end, and all of the modifications that occur after the chamfer display again, along with the changes made to the chamfer feature. Notice that if you use the Press-Pull command, select one of the corners, and edit the chamfer value, both corners still adjust to the new value. Now let's enter Direct Modeling mode. In the browser, right-click the top node, then select Do Not Capture Design History. You could also click the gear icon on the timeline to access this setting. Note that this warning tells you that the timeline and all of the design history will be removed, and any new operations won't be captured in the timeline. Click Continue to accept this. Now the timeline disappears. If you look at the browser though, note that all of the features from the timeline now appear within the node of the component where they were created. All of the origins and sketches are still here as well. You can edit a feature directly from the browser. If you right-click this fillet and select Edit Fillet, all 6 of the original edges are selected. If you change the value of the radius, all 6 edges adjust. However, notice that if you use the Press-Pull command, select one of the edges, and edit the fillet value, only the edge you selected and those that are connected to it by tangency adjust to the new value. The edges on the other side of the bracket remain unchanged. This is different from what you see in parametric modeling mode. If you don't want to preserve the original features, but rather only need the body to remain in the component, you can also dissolve features. To do this in the browser, select the features you want to dissolve, right-click, then select Dissolve. Note that the features disappear from the browser, and only these 2 whole features, the fillet feature, and a single body remain. When you want to turn the timeline back on and return to parametric modeling mode, right-click the top node in the browser, then select Capture Design History. Notice that all the features that previously displayed in the timeline do not return to the timeline. Instead, If you click the plus button to expand the group of features, you'll see a new base feature. You can right-click and select Edit to modify any of the features you didn't dissolve. Notice the two holes and the fillet still appear here in the browser within the base feature. Now that you're back in parametric modeling mode, you can continue your design, and all of the operations you perform from this point forward will appear in the timeline. For instance, if you delete one of the corner chamfers, add a fillet to that corner instead, create a hole, and move that hole to align its center with the center of this new fillet, all of these display in the timeline. Now you know how to switch between parametric modeling and direct modeling modes by turning Capture Design History on and off in Fusion 360. Thanks for watching.